Maseches Bava Kama daf and Gimel Amud Beis. Amud eidim shukrishu lebasof huzmu. Eidim that were hak'chasha, eidim that were denied. The first eidim came and they said no. The first eidim came and said in so and so, let's say killed. Okay, and then came the other set of eidim, Levi and Yehuda, and Levi and Yehuda, they said no. They didn't say imanu ha'item, you were with us. They just said that what you guys are saying is wrong. You said in so and so killed someone in Beit Shemesh. He has an alibi. He was with us, or for any other reason we know it didn't happen as eidim. That's called a hak'chasha. Hak'chasha means we don't know who's right, either the first ones or the second ones. Okay. What happened was at the end came a third group of eidim, a third group, and there was hazama. The third group were muzam. The third group were were huzmu. Zum should be the first. Those who actually wanted to kill the guy, they were muzam. They were told afterwards, you were with us. So now by huzmu, there's gzeres hakasuv. You always believe the ones who are meizim. The ones who actually say imanu isem are always believed. That's what the Torah says, and that's just a given. So now the question is like this: says Rava that the herogin, you do kill the first ones, and it's a chiddush because vasisem l'kashar zomeim, you have to do to the zomeim they wanted to do to the others. You kill them. Why? What does that mean? The hak'chasha, one could say not like Rava, as we'll see Abaye claiming later on. You could have said like this: listen, we Reuven and Shimon, even if you think we're lying, the Maisa, our eidus was not really followed up on, right? They didn't really listen to us because although there was a psak Beis Din based on what we said, but at the end of the day, other eidim came and makrish us. Other eidim came. I'm repeating yesterday, yeah. Other eidim makrish us. So you didn't really listen to us. It was a tie. It was a standstill. Everything frozen. We don't know who's a liar and who's not. And both sets of eidim by hak'chasha are suspected to maybe be liars. I don't know who was the right guy. They both were grilled and tested. So now, anyway, you could say, listen, our eidus was invalid. So what do you want from us now? Even if it's true that you're saying that we were in Tveria, not in Beit Shemesh, maybe our eidus was so invalid and not listened to. So now you should not be doing anything to us. Don't punish us. Says Rava, nishtazoi. Says Rava, no. Hak'chasha tchilas hazama hi. The fact that they were mukhash, that they were confronted and denied, even partially, even misofek, is the beginning of the hazama. Ela sheloi nigmero. It's not like you have a stop gap in between and then there's a whole new thing called hazama. Now we really find out that you people were really liars. Now we realize you guys were really liars. In other words, you're suffix liars, not liars. It was already getting fishy. Now the hazama is a makeh b'patish. That's the final blow. It shows us you people are actually not true, not real. Therefore, that's called lo nigmera. So the hazama and the hak'chasha are one long process that gets worse and worse, that deteriorates. And therefore, we would kill those people because...
Rava, we cannot see you, and your voice is breaking up.
I'm sorry. I'm doing my best, and it's the 5th time I'm trying the Zoom, and I don't know what to tell you. I'm really, really sorry. Yeah. There are two... One second. When we have 2 against 2, without hazama, just a hak'chasha, I'm pausing and explaining. There are 2 different musogim in halacha. There's hak'chasha and hazama. Hak'chasha is to deny, to confront, to basically delete what the first ones are saying. But then who said the second ones are right more than the first ones? You say it was in Haifa. Well, we say it was in Beit Shemesh. Who said the second ones are more correct than the first ones? So when it's just 2 against 2, well, we don't know who's right. It's 2 against 2. And therefore, we say that neither the first ones nor the second ones are fully believed. And we're like in a standstill. We say, okay, we leave things as they are. Later on, when there's hazama is gzeres hakasuv. If the second one say imanu aitem, then it's the third ones in this case, actually. A third group of eidim says imanu aitem, then we believe the third ones and saying that the first ones were all lies. And that we do believe. And now we say that even though the hak'chasha already put them on a pause, like the Zoom, put them on like a pause thing, and like when a pause button, we don't know who's right, who's wrong, and we didn't really follow up on what they were saying. We nevertheless do say that the hazama is hak'chasha and hazama are effective. The hak'chasha was the beginning of the process that ended up with hazama. That's what we say. 1 second, you okay? Yes.
Why is the punishment?
Yes, I'm listening.
If the second pair of eidim
Mm-hmm.
said something,
Yes. Mention that. Just as an aside, answering Moshe's question, when we say neherogin, doesn't mean you kill them because they wanted to give false witness. No, we just say that here, in this case, they claim someone's murdered. It doesn't make a difference. Whatever the eidim wanted to do to the victim, you do to them. My son-in-law explained to me a very, very nice reason why that is so. If you behave yourself, so at the end of this year, we'll come to the Ashkofa. Is that a very cute idea about it? Yeah, this year is a lot of metach. Amarove, mino amin alo. How do I know that? How do I know that this is so? How do I know that when you have 2 against 2, tie, and then came hazama, we say the hazama is a tiebreaker, and we don't say 0-0, go home, your eidus was irrelevant. Now the mezimim, any of my eidus was relevant. So what do you want from me? We don't say that. We say the eidus was like frozen, now it came back to life through those who say hazama, and we do kill you. How do you know that? How do you know it's true? So we saw it yesterday, but we have to see it again today because it's part of a longish sugya. Not too complicated if you hold cup. Basically, Rava will introduce to us a Braisa that has 2 parts, okay? The first part will be Abaye. Abaye will challenge him from the second part of the Braisa, in the next Amud, and then everything will be fine. It says in the Braisa, Meidani b'ish ploini. I actually comes meidanu. The real version is meidanu. We, the witnesses, we the people, were made about some person, but a terrible slave owner. Shesime es ein avdoi. We saw that he blinded his eved's eye, which means what? That the eved should go scot-free. It's an eved knaini. And if you hit his eye or his tooth or other 22 organs, he goes free. So you know what happened? He first of all poked out his eye, and therefore, what does that mean? It means that the eved goes free. The hipil es shinoi, and also he hipil es shinoi. Very good. He also, he pulled out his tooth, or he just broke his tooth. Tooth fell. So now, what really are they saying? If we believe them, then the eved goes free, and the eved, after he was punched in the eye, now the eved also, as a free man, he's automatically a free man in a second. Now he who poked out his tooth, not poked out, whatever, you broke his tooth, knocked off his tooth, then what do we say? You owe him the tooth. Okay. Continues the Braisa. Remember, this, by the way, remember, is the main part of the Braisa, of the first Braisa. Remember. Shara oimer ken. The Rav, the master, would be happy to hear such an eidus. This eidus is good for the Rav. Rav here means the master. There's a lot of questions here. And imtzu zomeim, afterwards, you know what happened? Came other eidim. So far, there are only 2 sets of eidim. Came another set of eidim and said, what? You saying that the master McCohen from Alabama, you're saying that that's what it did? Ma pitom. You guys were not in Alabama. You guys were with us in Washington. Bichlal ma pitom. You are mishakir, you're zomeim. The shalmin dmei ayin le'eved. So those eidim they came out liars because there's zomeim, only 2 sets of eidim. And what? Now they have to pay the value of the eye to the eved. Oy vavoy. Frag the Gemara, what? 3 times what? No questions. Whatever you wanted to ask, guys, the question the Gemara is asking. Hey, Chidami, what's the story over here? If you only have 2 against 2, a lot of things don't make sense in this Braisa. If you want to tell me that the Braisa should be read as it's read, as it is, the leika kas achrina, that there's no third group. By the way, what's Rava's story? 3 groups, right? 0, 0, and then 1. That's Rava. If you want to tell me that this Braisa talks about the case of 2 against 2, only 2 groups, they should pay the eye to the slave. They actually managed, if we believed them, they make him go free, right? So why should they pay him his eye? They were for him, not against him. He's not the victim over here. He was happy when they were saying, I'm a free man and I get my tooth even. Wow. The oid, another question, If anybody has to be paid because of the false eidus, it's the Rav. The master is the one who was lied to. The master is the victim. Sometimes masters are also victim. In this case, the eidim were lying through their teeth because they're zomeim, and they were saying that the Eved is free. Well, he's not, right? That's not true, because zomeim, the whole story is a fib. It's a lie. So he's not free. So pay Eved to the Rebbe. The oid, third question. Remember all three. Shararav oimer ken. The Braisa mentioned some funny line in the middle. Kivyochol funny. The Rav is happy with the eidus. What? Harav minichale. The Rav is happy that his Eved Erev Pesach Tu B'Shvat. Now you're taking my Eved away. You're telling me that my loyal Eved is now free, and it's a lie. The Rav is happy to hear that. Ma pitom. Deciding with the Rav must be. There's definitely a red herring here, and you have to re-explain the Braisa. And now comes Rava's big moment, and that's a crucial moment in the sugya. Elolav must be lav, meaning no, no, no. The case must be different, and really. Yeah, I really do have a chart, which I'll hopefully will email you. We don't need charts now. All you have to remember is one thing. The main part of the Braisa is the eidus of people. What did they say? That he poked his eye and then his tooth, right? That's all that's happened. That's what's known in the Braisa. That's the main line. But you have to add to that story another factor. Kegoin the asu beitrei. You know what the story was? There were two people who came before then. The Braisa starts with the second chapter of the story. You have to add the prologue. You started reading the novel in the second chapter. You think you're smart. No, 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 no. It wasn't just a boring description. You have to really get the beginning of the story. Says the story as follows. Two people came before our friends. The Amri hipil es shinoi simes einoi. Two people came, other people before our friends from the Braisa. And they said, Mr. McCohen, he shinoi, poked his whatever, pulled his tooth out, yeah, and then blinded him. According to the first girsa, he's free. The first eidim are telling us he poked his tooth and then his eye. So now the Adon is very sad because my Eved is out, right? The Eved is free. And because the second damage was on the eye, as a free person, his eye was poked out. So now he has to pay him his eye. Relative to them, now come our friends. Now comes the Braisa. Ba-bam. The Osubeitrei Metzioi, what's Metzioi? The middle ones. Our two eidim of the beginning of the Braisa are the second group, the middle group, the Amri, and they said, yeah, it's true that he hit him. But you guys, you Mr. First guys, you got the order wrong. Einoi, the Hadar Shinoi. Now everything makes sense. It was the wrong order. He hit his eye and then he hits his tooth. So really, the fact that he's free, he's already free from the first ones. So both groups of eidim agree that the Eved goes free. Ha ha ha. Right? Exactly. Now the first eidim said he is free and he got to pay for his eye. The second group, of course, the master is happy with the second eidus. To lose the Eved, he lost already. At least now, instead of paying him an eye, which is very expensive.
Your voice is
I'm sorry.
completely broken up.
I'm sorry. So,
one word you make saying.
Sorry. So then, okay. Now the poking of the tooth is good for him. Baruch Hashem. The first one said I have to pay for an eye. Baruch Hashem. At least all I have to pay is the tooth. That's why he's happy. Badal shinoi, delo boy, continue. Shinoi, line starts with the word shinoi. Delo boy lemesevle elad mei shinoi. All he has to give now is the tooth. Well, as we say in Hebrew, came out with a tooth and an eye. He relatively had to pay small damages. Very good. Now the first ones and the second ones are makrish each other regarding what? The first ones, what are they saying? They say you have to pay for the eye. The second one, you have to pay for the tooth. If you notice, all three questions, by the way, are answered. Let me explain to you now. Let's continue the Gemara minute. The Hainu, that is to say, now it makes sense. Sha'arav oimer ken. The Rav, the master, is nodding his head and saying, yeah, right. Now he's happy with the second eidus. The first one said he should pay for an eye. No, he only has to pay for the tooth. The nichale, it's good for him. Nichale, it's good for him. It satisfies him. Right? And what? It's what they say is good for him. What about the two other questions? What were the two other questions? Why now they came out to zomeim? 1 minute. I'm not continuing Gemara. I want you guys to think. Now we had other questions. Why is it that he has to pay the dmei? What did we say? He has to pay the dmei ayin to the eved. They have to pay the slave the dmei ayin. Makes sense. Why do they have to pay the eye to the slave? Because now that's what they wanted the slave to lose. A third group came and said, you middle guys, you the middle guys who said, no, all he did was at the end was just the tooth. All he's got to pay is just the tooth. No. The third group said, you guys, you second guys, you the second guys, the pro master, you say only the master has to pay only a tooth. You guys were with us in Kinar, enjoying fancy dinner and listening to Rav Fangal while you're lying and you're saying that what? That it was with a tooth. So what do they have to pay the zomeim? The eye to the Eved. Very good. That's what they wanted him to lose, right? Of course, to the Eved. The fact that the Eved is free is already a given. Everyone agrees to that the Eved is free. The question is, should the Eved as a free man, he's about to start his own shop in Kansas City. So now what? Now you wanted the Eved to lose what? To lose the eye. Because really now we support the first guys. Because you guys are real liars. You're muzamim, zomeim. And therefore now pay the Eved the eye you wanted him to lose. And what does it say? Now comes Rava with his main idea. Don't lose focus of Rava. Continues the Gemara with Rava's final blow. Yeah, the Ktani, third line from the bottom. V'nimtzeu zomeim. Now the zomeim, who is zomeim? The middle guys who said what? That the Eved only deserves the tooth. Metzioi meshalmi dmei ayin leEved. To pay the eye to the Eved. The Eved really now the only correct ones are who? The first ones. Because the second ones are off the chessboard. They were kicked out of the game completely. Zomeim. So now it's true that the Eved deserves an eye, and you wanted to deny him of that. You paid the Eved the eye. Wait a second. Hey, excuse me. We had hak'chasha 0-0. Then we had hazama. Bingo. Shmami no says Rava. Hak'chasha tchilas hazama he says Rava. Aha. You see that the hak'chasha is the beginning of the hazama. We don't say about the second group. Anyhow, there were 0-0. We didn't really make him pay anything. Anyhow, everything was a standstill. We don't know who's lying, who's saying the truth, and therefore everything stands like in a pyre and a freezer and nothing. And now the third group came as Zama. Anyhow, eidus was not listened to. No, we don't say that. We say the fact that we started doubting your stories with first eye and then tooth. We're like not sure. We're not saying you're liars, but you're in a question mark. Now the game continued. It didn't stop. Came another team to help the team against you, other better players called mezimim. Now we really know you're lying, and now you got to pay the eye. Rav is very happy now because Rav got a proof that the hak'chasha tchilas hazama. That's the first part of the story. Now we're going to get to Abaye, and I'm open for questions. No, he had his finger up. Sorry. Omar Abaye. What? Omar Abaye is giving a very strong fight over here, a bit long, but you'll get there. And we're going to see Rashi now also, by the way. Omar Abaye, Eloi. Abaye says, no, I have a whole different way of reading the Braisa. How can I read the Braisa? Two simple words, da'afchinu v'azminhu. I'll translate to English and then we'll see Rashi. What's afchinu v'azminhu? Wait, says Abaye, there are only two groups of eidim. What's Rava's whole big business? What's Rava's big agenda, big party here? Rava wants to say there are three groups of eidim. That's always the story. Why? That's all vort. There were 0-0. Then came a third group of mezimim, and they really finished the game, and they continue the game, and they make the first ones or the second one, whichever one, make them lose, and that's it. Says about how do you know? No, the apchinu v'azminu. I'll have a better version for you to how to understand the Braisa. There are only two groups of eidim, and the second group is one-stop shop for everything. The first groups came and said he hit his eye and then his tooth. He owes him a tooth. The second group said, listen, guys, there were really two stories happening here. First of all, Imanu Aisen. You saying that on Sunday it happened? On Sunday, you were with us in Natzati I don't know. You're with us somewhere else on Sunday. And besides, secondly, we also know that the violent case was the other way around. And he hit his what? His tooth and then his eye. Maybe the second ones are saying everything. Hazama and hak'chasha. And that pulls the rug under Rava's feet. The whole word of Rava is that if there was a hak'chasha, boom, boom, and then hazama, we don't separate them. Says Abai, how do you know? Maybe we do. Maybe we do. Maybe if you have a hak'chasha 2 against 2, tie, the both lie, finish. We don't know what's going on there. We don't listen. Then the mezimim came, irrelevant. Gamarnu, lochbatli. Maybe that's how we treat it. Finished. Mashenkin, in this story, you know why everything is true in this Braisa? I'll tell you why. Pashut. Because first of all, the eidim came and they said you only owes him the tooth. Then the other ones came and they did everything together. And then you can't say there was a stoppage and then a whole new story. It's just one team, boom, boom, with 2 goals, 2-0. That's it. So Mimela, of course, in this case, it's all one story. Let me read it to you inside the Rashi. Although, we'll read Rashi inside. Amar Abai, the last Rashi. Amar Abai Eloi. If they were denied, found fault by the first cut, maybe really the third cut would not do hazama. 2 against 2, and then came a third one. Maybe the third one is too late and irrelevant. The hacha over here, there's only one group, them. Who's them? The ones who say I and then tooth. I with the kashalach, says Rashi, maybe you can ask a question. Well, why don't they have to pay the entire eved to the Rav? They are the first ones who came up with a novel idea that the eved, is out and free. No, says Abai, the second cut agrees to them that he is free. Who do we believe, the first or the second? The second. Why? Because the second group in Abai's story are the mezimim. Mezimim are always believed. That's Zersa Kosu. Now, those mezimim also agree that he is free. They say, yes, he was violent. Of course he's free. The only question is the order. So Mimela, the first ones, retrospectively, were not really mechadish to us. In retrospect, they were right in that he's free, right? The only question is, does he pay the eye or the tooth? Continues Rashi, she'amu what do the second group says according to Abaye? What I told you. That day you said Sunday, Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan Tafshin something. You say, you're in Bet Shemesh, Imanu Haisim b'Mokem Ploini. You're with us in a different place. We're with us in Eilat. Aval, on the other hand, you are partially correct. B'Yom Acher Hava, that violent case did take place in a different time, and we saw it. The Ipcha Hava, but it was the other way around. It was the tooth and then the eye. He owes him an eye, and you guys want to make him lose the eye. You anti-slave people, racist. The Miman of Shach. Now, what's the result of the whole story? Miman of Shach, Eved Nofik Lecherus. The Eved goes free, whichever one you believe, anyways. In that, you're not liars. You're mizimi, you're zomeim, and you're terrible. He happened to be right that he's a free man, right? Because we, the right ones, endorse that. The hen mishalmim lo dmei ayin shirotzu lafsidoi. Of course, you have to pay him the eye, because we, Mr. Right, and the other Mr. Right, the eidim, we say what? That really he owes him an eye. He poked his tooth and then the eye. You wanted him to lose the eye? You guys are lying. You have to pay him the eye. Of course, the Rav is happier with the first eidus, obviously, because he wants him, if he already has to go free, he might as well pay him only the tooth and not pay him the eye. I'm skipping the next part of Rashi because that will come up later anyways. Okay, so that's what Abai wants to suggest. No 3 groups of eidim, just 2. One is saying eye and then tooth, and the second ones are saying you guys are zomeim, pich, tech, imanu aitem. You are not believed b'chlal. You are not credible. And secondly, the order was the opposite. So of course he goes free, but you wanted to make the Eved lose his eye. You pay for his eye. Really, it was the tooth and then the eye. Says the real eidim. And therefore, that's it. But Lamaisa, Rava's case is out the window. He pulled the rug out of Rava's feet. Why? Because Lamaisa was saying, you are telling me, Rava, that it was hak'chasha, then hazama? No, it was hak'chasha, hazama together. They came and they did one-stop shop. Hak'chasha and hazama was in one go after the first eidus. So of course, when we're makrish and mazim together, of course the first one has to be punished. Okay? We believe that, one second, I'll just repeat what I said. We believe the second one because of mezimim. Whoever has the M card, mezimim, is believed Xeris HaKosu. Really, there's an explanation to Xeris HaKosu, which I'll tell you later. There happen to be mezimim. Mezimim are the joker, the ace, the card that wins against everyone. No. Yeah.
Is it the second of eidus?
No.
And say you live with us, you ain't here.
Now, says Abaye, Nimai, how do I know that I'm right? Why do I, Abaye, choose to talk about a case when there are only two groups of eidim? One, the stars of the show, and the second group does both hazama and hak'chasha. Abaye is not out there to stand be against Rava because he's Bani's Rava. What's Abaye's reason? Need the seifa, because the same Braisa has a seifa. Ayin dalad amud aleph. Need the seifa, we're going to explain everything. Mid the seifa, just like the seifa, which we will read soon. We didn't yet. The meipach hazama, just like the second case of the Braisa, which we'll read later, is talking about meipach hazama. The second ones did haficha, revolution. They turn things over from tooth, from eye tooth. They change it to tooth eye, and also hazama. And they also said, you said it happened on Sunday in the Shemesh. You were with us in Rehovot. I want it to all be symmetric, so to speak, symmetrical. And also the Reisha, the one we are now talking about, our case, is also the same. I don't say it's three groups. I prefer to say it was two groups, and the second group did it all. Yeah? Jackie does it all in one. Hazama. And how do you know that the seifa, what is a seifa, which made Abai say what it says? Let's see. Diktani seifa. The seifa, don't worry, the seifa is the exact opposite or possibly the mirror image of the Reisha. Look at the seifa. The seifa is just the flip case, the flip side. Listen to this. Meidanu kamde to eidim. I don't know the first, second, or third. Let's ignore now where they are in the space of things. Let's just listen to the words and then see where to locate them. Meidanu is ish ploy nishipilis shen avdoi. Listen to the order. It's the opposite order. We're made in so-and-so Mekohen. He pilis shen avdoi. Yeah. He poked his tooth out, pulled his tooth out. The simes einoi, and also blinded him, poked his eye out. Opposite order. Shar eved oimer ken. The eved is happy with that, right? Why? The eved, of course, is happy. The eved, wow, he got his freedom, and he got his eye, right? Because he hit him tooth, and that made him a free man. Now hit him on the eye. As a free man, he's owed an eye. Wow. The eved and his lawyers are all jumping and dancing, to the camera. Oh, those people, the pro-Eved, Abraham Lincoln and his friends, nimtzu zomeim. Now they are zomeim. They were against the Rav. They have to pay the eye to the Rav, right? Now it came out that there was zomeim, which means what? I assume it means all false. Zomeim. You guys are zomeim. Yeah? Zomeim means what? That you're liars. Very good. You wanted the master to lose the money of the eye, which was not right, because Moshe, because they were not there, right? Because they were not there, we don't listen to anything they say. If you don't listen to anything they say, they wanted the Rav to lose the eye, to make him pay the eye, which wasn't right. And therefore what? And therefore now you have to pay it to the master. Wait a second. Hey, Chidami, what's the story? You guys are too complacent because Baruch Hashem, you know the sugya. But if we look at the very beginning of the sugya, the same question arises. If those were the first eidim, and they're the first ones to tell me, I'm not continuing more, I'm asking my own question now, which will be the Gemara's question. If the first ones were the only eidim who told me that he hit him, then do they have to pay only the eye? They have to pay the entire eved. Nachon? If all we say is Imanu Ayisem, and the whole story is a fib, is a lie, I'm using British slang, is a lie, and he just, you know why he doesn't have a tooth and an eye? Because he fell in the bathroom. He fell in the bath. He fell in the thing. If so, if the such liars, they got to pay him the entire eved. Nachon? Hey, Chidami. If the second group are completely denying them, don't believe there was a chabala. What's a chabala? Injury, damage, injury. If the second one say, we don't saying anything about anyone hitting anyone. You were with us in I don't know, in Haifa. So they don't admit Bechlal. They make kula eved lerav by shlumi le'rachmanu litzlon. Then what? You should pay the entire eved, right? True, people, of course. If the first ones, the only two groups, and the first one said the whole tale about a master hitting, and the second one says we don't know anything about master shmester. You're saying that the Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan Tafshin Pei, you were with us? No, you're with us in a different place. So then they have to pay the entire eved, because the whole story right from the start is all one big lie. Ela pshita must be, says who? Says Abaye. The komoidu kulhu bechabolo. The second group also admit. The second ones, now Abaye is beautiful. Now this is Abaye's big moment. Must be what? The second group agrees there was a Kabbalah. They agree, yes, there was a hitting, there was violence here from the master to the slave on a different date. Aha! The azmin who must be what? Rabbi Isai, they say like this. Of course, the Eved goes free. That's why the first group doesn't have to pay for the Eved. Because even the second ones who are believed, why are they believed? Because they hold the M card. They're the Mezimim. And therefore, because they're believed, they're Mezimim. And they also say, yes, there was violence, but we're just switching the order. So beside, Miman of Shachter is definitely freedom to the Eved. Everyone's Abraham Lincoln today. Because anyway, was it. The second group must, however, so why do they pay the master the eye? Because the second group must have said that besides the fact you guys are liars, you were with us on that alleged date in a different place, also we did see it happening, and it happened in the different order when really it was the eye and then the tooth. And you want the Odoin to lose the eye, to make him pay for the eye. Very good. Excellent. Imela says, Abaye, I like things to be symmetrical. And just like in the second part of the Braisa, it works much better when there are only two groups and not three. Mimela, so, and the second group does it all. So to the first part of the Braisa should also be the same, only two groups, and the second one does it all. And that breaks Rava's theory. Or Rava may be right, but Rava has no proof anymore. Your whole, I saw you, I'll relate to you very soon. Yeah, I'll talk to you. Now, Rava, you don't have a raya anymore. You don't have a raya. You're telling me there was one story, there are two chapters to the story, to the game, to the Olympics, to the tournament. No, there was only one. It's not like there was a hak'chasha and then a hazama. Hak'chasha and hazama together. So your whole story is wrong. It's not muchach. That's what Abai wants to say. Just like in the Sefer, so to in the Reisha. We can, yeah, I'm listening to you now, and then, yeah. Mm-hmm. Before we, Veichidami, line starts with the word abchinan, azminu. Now the Gemara wants to, I would say, finish up a few unfinished businesses regarding Abaye. Dr. Gemara Veichidami, what exactly is the story here? We are still in Abaye. What did Abaye say? The first one said shen and then I, right? And then the second one say two things. First of all, Emmanuel Yitzem, guys, get off the stage, you're with us. Secondly, the order was the opposite. Okay? First of all, he hits the tooth and then the eye and then the tooth. Yep. What exactly is the story? When those eidim said that it happened, they admitted that it was violence, just the other, switch the order. Yeah? The other way around. So now the question is, when did they say? Let's say the Basroi, the second ones, said, you guys said it happened on Sunday? Liars. On Sunday, we're with us in Nestiona. And Monday, it happened. Wait a second. If the real eidim, the true eidim, the believed eidim, they say that it happened later on Monday, and the first ones lied that it was on Sunday, and we then believed them. So when you look back on not on how we received the information, on how the information originally came, when the original eidim gave the eidus, says the Gemara, akati still dmei eved lerav by shlumi. They still have to pay the eved, the rav, the entire cost of the eved. Why? Because when they came first, they were the first ones, and they were mechayivim. They spoke against the master. They hit him. He has to free him. Akati gavala bar chiyuvahu. He wasn't yet bar chiyuva, which means if we say that the second group said the first ones are lying and it happened later on, if we sort of collect all the information, gather all the information together, and we sort of resynchronize everything, we say, hey, wait a second. The first group lied that it was on Sunday, and it really happened on Monday. So when the Eved was still an Eved, which is entirely healthy, intact, and good, they lied that the Odon hit him. So they should pay the entire Eved. Because it's true that at the end of the day, we know that the Eved was free, but they said it happened earlier. So Lamaisa, 1 day before is 1 day before. And when the Eved was not yet hit, they already said he was hit. That alone is bad. Ela must be the kamakdami kdumi hani basroi. Must be what? That first of all, that the basroi, the second group who's believed, who really is believed to say that what? That there was hitting, but the other way around. They said it happened earlier. You people, you liars, you zomeim, say it's Monday, really was on Sunday. Very good. If the embassy is it happened on Sunday, then their information, he hit him on Monday. It's irrelevant. The fact he hit him on Monday is really nothing, because he really was already hit on Sunday. That's too late. Too early is noira. We don't like too early in eidus. You're lying. To say too late is some stupidity and irrelevant. The only thing you have to pay is the order, because you came to Beis Din first. You really saw him. You didn't really see him. A second kilu, but you came to Beis Din first, right? And you got to pay for the the odoin. But regarding the actual eved, you don't have to pay, because when you said he was hit, he was already free. So your lie was treading water, was irrelevant already. That's just Mesader. I wouldn't say small point, nothing more small, just trimming Abaya's case. We're just sort of like embellishing Abaya's case. Yeah? To repeat what I said? Okay. That's my favorite question, actually. When people want me to repeat, that's good. Again, the Gemara, it will be good for you also. The Gemara claims as follows. Yeah, I'm saying it now outside. What did we say? And we all understood, Baruch Hashem. The first group, the liars, don't have to pay for the entire Evan. Because the second one, who are the good ones, they say, yeah, he was really hit. That's true. That part we believe in. Not the order, the lying with the order, you have to pay an I, but it's true that he was hit. It's true that he is a free man. Perek the Gemara, wait a second. What exactly was the, how do you synchronize it? What was before what? The Gemara just wants to say one important, but not very salient point here. The Gemara wants to say like this. Bear in mind that if the second group came and said that when you guys, that it really happened, you really hit him on Monday, and the liars said it happened on Sunday. If that was the case, that the Basroi said it happened later, then the first group should pay the entire body of the Eved to the master, because they said it happened on Sunday when he was still an Eved, and they said it was free. I later and got free. So what? Imagine if Chas v'Shalom, a person would say about a woman, that's not a bad example. Yeah, she was divorced. When was she divorced? And she was divorced in Tafshin Pei, and then she had a Chas v'Shalom boyfriend. I don't know. Yeah, no, she got divorced, but in Tafshin Pei Beis. It's a huge difference. Time makes a lot of difference, right? True. You can't just play around with times. You wanted to create a reality which wasn't even there. So then they'd have to pay. And therefore, the Gemara tweaks it and says must be the real eidim. You know what they said? They said when you guys gave the eidus, you were right, because you really hit him before you guys came. Yeah? You said it was on Monday, you already hit him on Sunday. So the hitting lie doesn't make a difference. It was already hit on Sunday. They came second, the mezimim, of course, but they're made on something earlier. They're made on something that before. And they said, really, before you guys claimed you saw it, it was already a free man. So when you say it's free, that's tam shtuyot. It doesn't make a difference. He's already free. But you talk about the order, tooth, that you're lying about. And therefore, regarding that, you got to pay the to the master. One more line before we finish. The ideloi omad bedin. Now, no, maybe I'll finish. Because really, in this case, what happened? You have to pay the master. The real truth was, why do they have to pay the master? Because they want to say that the master owes him an eye. They said he took out his tooth and then the eye. So he owes him an eye. It's not true. Really, it was eye and then tooth. He really owes him a tooth. So you want to take I out of him, the money of the I. You got to pay for that. You wanted to charge him much, much more than he really owes. And he's not the master anymore. Why? He's not. What? Yes, but he did knock his tooth first. So regardless to what he knocked first, he's not a master anymore. L'kula alma. That's it. Whichever. So he's not a master. L'kula alma. Both eidus. Everybody agrees he's not a master. So that Baruch Hashem we're good with. Now let me continue, and I'll explain more tomorrow. The idolo Amud bedin. We also have to realize that. Now I'll start that tomorrow because that's a new issue with Knas. We're very much in the middle of the jungle here, but I think it was, let's say, it was much, much better than I thought. And I'm prepared to the end of the Amud. So good, but we'll do that tomorrow. Shkoyach Gadol Beyoisa. Maybe we'll do a chart, maybe not. We'll see. Hopefully I have time. And tomorrow we're going to bring the leftover food that we ate. Thank you very much. I'm sorry about the Zoom. On behalf of Zoom. Yeah. Bye-bye.